Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show. And you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to episode 94 of the Steve and Crypto Show. This is Steve. Crypto is off getting things ready for our appearance this weekend at Jack Action Comics in Port Orchard, Washington. So yeah, you won't hear much of me or Crypto over the next couple episodes. Like I said, we're preparing for some events, like this weekend at Jack Action Comics, October 1st to be exact. And we have a convention. We have the Grit City Comic Con in Tacoma later in October, and some other stuff. On top of all that, we are prepping for the Halloween episode, which is always huge. We got some crazy, exciting stuff lined up for that. So we are going to skip all of our rambling and all the nonsense that you guys hate to love or love to hate or something. Yeah, of course, we do thank you guys for coming back every week, and we appreciate the support. We love it. It means the world to us. And if you want to continue to keep supporting, there's many ways. You could follow us on social media. Crypto is at CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. It's on Instagram and Twitter. And we also have the Facebook group. You could go to Facebook, just search for the Steve and Crypto Show and add that. Jump in that group and leave, join the conversation. Let's have fun. Post stuff in there, post nerdy news, horror news, post upcoming project you're working on, anything. Let's keep it going, and of course we'll dump all the Steve and Crypto Show info up in there too. And we do have a merch page on Etsy. Just go to Etsy and search for Steve and Crypto merch, and that'll come up. We got t-shirts, mugs, magnets. And I do have some stuff that you could get mail order direct from me if you just reach out. We got a couple hats left. I got some pins, stickers, and stuff. I feel like we might sell out of the hats soon, especially this weekend with our first event coming up. Getting a little buzz, so we're excited. So that's social media. Told you about the merch page. We have Patreon too. You name your price, you could pledge $1 a month to whatever you want. It all goes back into the show. It helps. We are slowly but surely getting some stuff together to post in there exclusively for patrons. I know it's, like I said, time's tight sometimes, and we feel terrible that we're not posting stuff in there every week, but we're trying to get at least one thing up a month for you guys. Yeah, those are the ways to support us. And of course, you could go and rate and review the show wherever you listen, if possible, of course. Last week, we talked with a author named Jim Harbison, and he was a cool guy. He has some pretty interesting sounding books. He sent me some copies. I need to dig into them. I'll definitely let you guys know what I think once I get to it. On top of that, we had the second edition of the Stapled Spine comic book roundup, which is coming. Really excited about that segment. I think we're going to do it monthly, and Jack's going to come on and tell us about his favorite horror comics from the previous month. So keep up on that, and definitely find Stapled Spine fanzine. Get copies of it. It's a good little rag to read. Definitely check it out. So this week, like I said, we're not going to have much me or Crypto on here. We are going to just jump right in with a little guest we have. We have a filmmaker named Sean Haitz, who is promoting a crowdfunding for a film that's starring the horror icon Felissa Rose, who's also a friend of our show. So after this chat, we'll do our weekly trivia, and we will wrap up this short but sweet episode. So meet Sean Haitz.
Hey, this is Tim.
This is Ainsley.
And this is Rebecca.
And we're the co-hosts of the One Dark Fright podcast, where we talk in depth about a horror movie every month from start to finish.
Right now, you're listening to Steve in Crypto Zoo and the awesome Steve in Crypto Show.
When you're done listening to this episode, come check out the One Dark Fright podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere you fulfill your podcast needs. But now, let's get back to Steve in Crypto.
Hey, everybody, this is Danny Roebuck. Come on, you know my face is familiar. I'm sure my voice is familiar too. You are listening to the Steve in Crypto Show, and that means that you have good taste, almost as good a taste as I have.
Hey, we are on the Steve in Crypto Show with Sean Haitz. He's a filmmaker. He has a project. I guess they're pretty far into the process, a sci-fi horror film called Area 5150. He'll tell us about that in a few minutes here. But before we jump into that, tell us a little of your background.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah. So I've been, making films since I was a little kid. I took my grandmother's video camera away from her when she brought it over one day, and I haven't stopped since. And I grew up in the digital world where we did have the little small tapes. I think they were like the DV tapes. And so we would just shoot, I didn't have any editing software, so I would just shoot the whole movie at once. And then we would, friends and I would just gather around the TV and plug that bad boy in and watch what we shot. And that was the first feeling of like dailies and looking at your footage. And it was such a treat. I mean, I liked that more than anything. And so before that, I was just a huge lover of Halloween, like any kid, but I always took things to another level. We had like a haunted yard, and I would literally, like, if I think back, I was like producing back then, because I'd get the neighborhood kids, I'd get my sister, I'd get everybody involved and having them in different like scare zones and stuff. And this is where you're going to pop out. You're going to pop out of this grave. So I was always really intrigued. And then my mom was she was an artist too. So she was really helpful in that world and helping like make the graves and helping Halloween be really fun. So that was the first part of the bringing in the horror and that whole aspect. And I love this like dressing up and so that's the beginning. I think I redid the cold open from Scream probably like 10 times, the Drew Barrymore scene. And I'd have my sister-in-law play Drew Barrymore. I'd have a friend. And then we ended up like shooting at my elementary school. I'm like 13 and we got the okays to shoot a location. And then I get friends to be background. I'm like, you got to bring your books. You got to bring your backpack. We got to make this look real. And we shot scenes there as well. So I always had that mind that it has to look real. It has to be authentic. And I mean, that at a young age, so that was the beginning, that all in a nutshell for me for filmmaking.
So was there any formal schooling or anything later on?
No,
just went for it.
I started to get into school, and I was like, this is really expensive, and they were just saying, you're going to be the next Steven Spielberg, and they kind of just would like try to make you feel like you are like potentially like the next guy. And I'm like, I don't really believe this. And then on top of it, I'm like, I could use this money to go shoot something now. I really just thought like that, like, okay, I kind of know the process and I'll figure it out. And I'm still figuring it out right now. But that's how it started. I mean, my first real film was called Swamp Zombie, and I shot it upstate New York with again, family. I have a lot of family upstate. My uncle had a cabin, and we made it. We set dressed it and called it Happy Trails Campsite, and we did this B horror, and it was probably like 20 minutes long, and my cousin played the Swamp Zombie. And I mean, I don't know, I think I was like 14, and that's what I did that summer.
That's awesome. That's a good way to spend a summer for a teenage boy, though.
Yeah, and then I would get older characters, like my uncle would play the cop. So I always tried to make it real,
Right.
It could seem realistic. It wouldn't be just, at that point, I was just like, okay, And then I had at the time it was my mom's boyfriend, and we couldn't drive. I was too young, so he had a Mustang, and let's have Ghostface get in the car and sped off. So it's anything that I couldn't do myself, I was always trying to. Production value was always a big thing to me too.
Right. Well, so now we are here promoting the area 5150. Is that is it?
That's
5150 or 5150?
5150, which is a police code for you're sent off to like a mental hospital, and you get 5150. And that's a California police code. And so that totally went with this film, because it's like it's aliens and then this crazy hillbilly cannibal family. So that's where that name came from.
So a quick synopsis.
Yeah, sure. Let's see if I can do a quick one.
Or long. It's okay.
Yeah. It's a podcaster that does like sci-fi and conspiracy theories, loves UFOs and Bob Lazar and all these things, sci-fi. So, or his name is Sci-Fi Sam. So he wants to go to the gates of Area 51 with his friend and his girlfriend, and they end up getting things. They don't actually get to Area 51. They get basically kidnapped by this cannibal family. So there's with that's tied, that family is tied to the Area 50 to people at Area 51. Man, I screwed that one up. We're not going to make that movie. But basically the founding thing was like, I want to do something with the apocalyptic, The Hills Have Eyes meets Alien, and how can we do that, and then have some dark comedy like Three Stooges characters within that realm. So that was really the beginning, and I wanted to involve the new age, podcasters, thing as well in the plot. So, but that's basically it. That was the beginning.
Okay. I mean, of course, you have some names attached to it. We should probably mention our friend on the show, Felissa Rose.
Yes.
How did that come to be?
Yeah. So Felissa Rose is amazing and so fun to work with, and she played this character Roberta. She lives out in the desert in an old RV trailer with her kids, and she has ties as well to this hillbilly cannibal family, and it's got Texas Chainsaw kind of vibes for sure. And she plays she's a hoot, and it kind of reminds me of some characters from like some of Rob Zombie's movies and stuff like that, and she just nails her character. And so we got involved with her through Mad Monster. That's a convention. So a friend of mine who plays this character, Sergeant Horror, he had reached out because he was talking about my movie to her, and she it sounded like that she was interested, and this just happened out of nowhere. Like, I'm like, wow, Felissa's interested. And then we had a part already where we needed in the plot where someone's living in this RV, but we didn't have the exact character that we wanted, and it came out perfect where she kind of came in right at a good time. And so we wrote the scene out, and with my partner Mark Cerulli, and she just nailed it. But that came out of the blue. And then on top of that, which made it really funny, is mutual friends Ryan James, who came on later as a producer, has been producing a film, Dark Circles, with her already. So it was already like within the family. So it was
Right.
pretty cool how that happened. Yeah,
For sure. So you mentioned characters kind of similar to like Rob Zombie characters, and you mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hills Have Eyes. Obviously those movies influenced you. What are some of the other movies or filmmakers that are influenced to your work?
Sure. Joe Dante, because I like the quirky, that twisted humor. And I forget what filmmaker made Basket Case, but I love those type of 80s, just like whacked out horror flicks that really involve that crazy humor. Because I was a big fan of, or I still am, but of like Ace Ventura and all like 90s Jim Carrey. And, a lot of us grew up with that stuff. And so I, I try to bring that. And then also, even like the Three Stooges and stuff. So I like the slapstick, obviously. And I always try to involve that. And one of my favorite movies is The Burbs that Joe Dante did.
Right.
I love the soundtrack. I love everything about that film. And so he's one. And then Wes Craven, obviously, I was talking about Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. And then the last House on the Left, the original one, was really heavy. So I like the heavy, horror movies, and then mixing this like someone called it like a theater of the absurd, bringing that within something that's heavy and scary, and then just figuring out, finding my own originality with all that stuff. There's one scene in the movie that it was like one of the characters' kid. He's really funny, and he pops open the door and he's like, "Hey, kids home. Yo, what's up?" And he just sits on a couch. It's not his couch or whatever. I'm like, this reminds me of like Family Matters right now. So let's go with like 90s sitcom right now, because this is hilarious. And that's what's great about this movie, because it can kind of go anywhere off the rails for a moment, and then come back to like, okay, there's aliens, there's they're doing evil experiments in Area 51, there's these mutants eating people. Like we can go real quick back to like scary. So it's fun to play a little bit. And I love like very colorful characters, that are just may not look like me, but I feel them. I feel like them. So we got like character David Vega and Miss Sadistic. Miss Sadistic's their stage name, and they're in all my movies, and they play a couple of different characters. Miss Sadistic plays the alien, and then David plays a couple of different whacked out characters too. But I just love I love a lot of energetic, intense characters too. Yeah.
So that's, like you say, the Rob Zombie character influence there very much. Very much.
Yeah, I love Rob Zombie. Yeah.
So before we started recording, you mentioned you're about 90% done with the film.
Yeah, we are about 90% done right now. We just need to get there's this character called Ruby. Her name's Ruby Rose, and she's one of the mutants, and she very original character. I think that's our Leatherface of the film, and she has this bone saw, circular saw that she like made. It looks like something from Road Warrior, and she's gonna be running after the final girl through the gates of Area 51, and just mayhem, killing off soldiers, and I really wanted to make it like big, like a scene out of Kill Bill or something. They just keep coming, and so that's going to be our big epic scene. That's going to be one thing that we're going to shoot, and then there's like little things here and there that we need to get. There's another scene with another horror icon that we're looking to get involved. I haven't told anyone yet who that is, but it's confirmed actually through Felissa, and she hooked us up, And so there's a whole ghost town scene where they stop off at this alien ghost town. And there's going to be a big scene there. So there's still some stuff to shoot. And then with the Indiegogo, which is in demand now that we have, so you can still get involved. We're going to be looking to shoot in October and November. So if there's like a soldier, you want to be a soldier in the film, that will be, up to like November until we shoot, available on the in demand. But then like posters and all that kind of stuff will be available for a while. So yeah, it's still a lot to do. And then expenses go towards, we really want to get a really good editor, and all this stuff is so expensive, even if you're getting things low cost, like, so, but we want to get someone really good, a great editor to come in. And I already have an assistant editor, doing all the technical syncing up sound and all that, but we want someone that can really make this film look good, because that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a really fun, interesting story, and it would suck to have it just turn into a mess because, you didn't come up with the good money for a good editor. So
yeah, there's like a happy medium, like an editor that's up and coming, that's also really, really good, and then wants to get involved with this project, because editors can be very, very expensive. I had my eyes on one, but we just can't afford them unless we like did really, really well on the Indiegogo, where I could put half the budget right to him.
Not to shy away from the Indiegogo, we'll mention that a little more, but you mentioned these creatures and aliens and big gory finale scenes and stuff. Do you got who do you got doing your makeup and effects and stuff?
Yeah, so it's been kind of different because it's a indie film, so we've had different people help with that. But the main person that I've had involved and want to have him more involved in that company is Jim Ojala Effects out of North Hollywood. He's worked on a lot of big stuff, and he's really good with creatures, and he's really good with kill gags and anything you need, like stuff that looks something towards he has stuff on Shutter too, but like I want to do stuff that looks like Victor Crowley, like Hatchet, where you're digging in and then the blood, it's like a shower of blood coming from a neck, like that. That needs to be amped up, because looking at some rough cut stuff, like we're not killing it in that department. And that was some of the budget was like, okay, we need at least 2 insane scenes where someone's getting chopped in half or sawed in half, like, because I like the visual and I like to really bring it. So I hope to have him and his team come out and have enough to be able to have him do some stuff. We had rented out some of his stuff and did some things on set, but unless you have himself and his team to really pull it off, because kills are sometimes stuff just happens that you can't pull it off. Like we had one blood gag where someone's getting shot up, and we really only had a couple of shirts, and it was all triggers and stuff, and it just, like, the tube, something was wrong in the tubing, because we just had someone that has worked on this stuff before but not a lot, and it went pop 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 pop, and it didn't come out right. It just like kind of leaked out, and I'm like, oh. And so you got to have the right guys to come out and do that stuff.
So people listening, the Indiegogo, go contribute. You guys want to see more blood and more good kills, kick some money in. And there's a lot of great perks on Indiegogo. What are some of the cool perks on there?
Yeah, we got signed posters. Like Felissa Rose 8x10 of her character Roberta. It's only there on the Indiegogo. For the diehard fans, like an original character, and it's only available through there. And then we have I have a film called Big Top Evil with Bill Moseley, and we released it through Gravitas, and it's worldwide. You can get it on Tubi, actually Paramount Plus, Redbox. So that's available. But I just did a VHS run, a limited VHS run with Retro Release Video, and they were nice enough to send me some copies, and I had Bill Moseley. I got together with him, and he signed some of them. So that's only available, limited, like the only ones that he signed on there. So that's for like the big Bill Moseley fanatics, and it's cool that it's just on a VHS for VHS horror collectors. And so we have that, and then we have Get Killed in the film. You can have one of those brutal deaths, and that money is going straight to that kill.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff on there. There's even we have percentages off of everything. Not everything is. We got discounts going on too, like missing person flyer, which is part of the story. So if you can't like come out, you can be a missing person on a flyer in the film on screen. So that's another cool one. And then we got Blu-rays, DVDs, signed ones, and stuff like that will be available.
Might have to go look at that missing person one. I know I kicked in for a special thanks. So I wanted to kick into the movie, and
thank you.
The missing person thing sounds kind of cool. So I don't know, we'll
I'll make sure to do a little lengthy slow push on your.
Oh, see, now it's even more tempting. That's how you sell Indiegogo.
Yeah,
like, I'll make sure you get the best version of the perk possible.
Yeah.
So I'm sure most of the links for those campaigns are like stupid long. So I'm not going to ask you to spout off the link, but
oh yeah, it's a weird link.
Yeah. But we'll make sure to post it in the episode.
Yeah, and I have it everywhere. I put up. It's on our Instagram in the bio, and
so
Facebook.
Where are you on social media?
At Area 5150 Movie on everything, like Twitter, Instagram, just basically Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And Instagram, I hit everything first on Instagram, and then we do Facebook Lives with some of the cast and crew, and we do all our thank yous on the Indiegogo on the Area 5150 Facebook page. And we try to do that every week.
Awesome. How much more time do people have to get in and contribute?
Certain perks will end like after we're done with principal photography, after we shoot these scenes in October and November. So those will be out, but basically everything else will be available for the next 3 or 4 months. I would say.
All right, cool, man. Well, Sean, thank you for coming on, dude, and telling us about the movie. I'm definitely excited for it. I made sure I contributed because it sounds like a fun movie, and of course, I love Felissa and what she does, even the good and the bad. So I'm a fan of her, so I got to support her too. But it sounds like you got a pretty fun movie happening here. And I'm going to go back and check out the Bill Moseley one too. What was that one called?
Big Top Evil.
Big Top Evil. That's on basically everywhere now. So
yeah,
I'm going to search that one down too.
Cool. Yeah.
Get a feel for your stuff.
Yeah, that one, it's rough around the edges. I'm proud of releasing a film, and getting the worldwide distribution. And Bill Moseley's pretty amazing and everything, but I love his character in this movie, and he likes the movie a lot, and he wants to do a second one. And we've talked about that. It would just be him as the main character, his character, and his cameo in this. We just continue on with his circus. Right. He's a ringmaster in the film. So, yeah. So, but yeah, what's fun? Like I have a movie I didn't even mention, Cannibal Comedian, which is in color and sound. Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast. And we have Alan Danziger and Ed Neal involved, which
Okay.
were Ed Neal was the original hitchhiker
Yep.
from the Texas Chainsaw, and Alan Danziger is one of the supporting characters. And not all of them are alive anymore, and he's involved in Cannibal Comedian, and so we're looking for a release early next year on that film. And that one's been really tough because it's just the indie film thing, and we didn't have an Indiegogo on that, so everything's been done with like favors
Right.
up to like all like a lot of the post production. So yeah, that one is coming along. I'm super proud of that movie, and I want people to see that one because I learned so much from Big Top Evil, and then literally moving to LA and working in production and going, oh, this is how you're supposed to make a movie.
Right. Right.
After I made one already.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot to learn and take in from working with people like Bill and Felissa and Ed Neal.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
Ed Neal is I want to involve him in more stuff because I feel like he's like I mentioned before, colorful characters. Like he's so intense and hilarious and scary. And those
Right.
are like my favorite things ever. And so I hope to work with him again too.
Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to add, or is there advice you might give to a aspiring filmmaker?
Yeah, the only advice that I can really like put forward is the million things in your head that are telling you not to do it or you can't do it. You just go do it anyways. You just put one foot in front of the other. Because it's been so many times, and then to and just think one thing at a time if you can, because I've been through it now a lot where it's out of my control, it's out of my hands. This is going to get done when it gets done. Everything, and also everything takes way longer than you think, especially at indie level. Like you can't force it. And I mean that's just like a broad thing, to just to be aware of. You can't force stuff. You can try to like in like if you're trying to have someone like, it's almost like it's like a give and take thing, especially like if you have someone that's helping you out. Can you get this done? Please, and hurry, but also thank you.
Yeah. I feel like that whole process of doing an indie film, you're already kind of at a disadvantage in a way because budget restraints and everything. So like you say, don't push things too hard because you do it right.
Yeah.
Now, do it right the first time. So that way, because it'll help you overcome the restraints, like if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
In my brain, it makes sense.
Yeah. I've heard too before from other filmmakers, but this is always good to like use what you have,
Yeah.
And then like my first film, like oh, you have a camera? Like, because I didn't have a camera, that's my DP.
Yeah.
Oh, your friend's an actor. Oh, let's see. Yep. That like so, and then know that your first project is just it's not going to be a hit. Like, I mean, it could be a phenomenon thing like Blair Witch, but just know that it's all a learning process, and things are just, your stuff will keep getting better and better. But don't wait for it to be the best thing ever or the best script ever. Just try to get it to a good point, and then go out and try to make this thing happen. After hours, don't be too shy to ask people to get involved, because just remember, almost everybody wants to make a movie, especially if it's people that between like someone that's not an actor that's always wanted to act. They're always willing to help. And then if it is an actor that's working on their reel, or just always be talking to people. It is a networking thing. And I've ran into where I just like I Craigslist this truck that I wanted, just to see if we could use it in the film, because the guy was selling it. I ended up going to his place. He's got like tons of old cars, like a graveyard of cars, and we ended up shooting there, like for a running chasing scene. So just, that's why I mean, like, one thing at a time. Like, you don't know what's going to come.
Right.
Just always put yourself out there as much as you can, even if you're shy, because I am shy. It may not seem like it, but I am introverted by nature, but I am extrovert when it's time to make it happen. It's just like you're almost on another wavelength at that point, and just ride that wave. Right. I don't know if any of that helps, but
oh, it definitely does. It definitely does. But yeah, man. Sean Haitz, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Steve.
Make sure everybody listening go. The link will be in the show notes. Go check out the campaign, contribute to it, get some signed photos, maybe even get in the movie,
and you can be a producer as well on the film, so you can have your name attached to the movie too.
There you go. Be attached to a movie starring a horror icon,
and potentially another one coming soon.
Very good chance, it sounds like. So, heck yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, Steve.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, man. I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Grandpa Munster. And if you're not watching the Steve and Crypto Show, I don't know what you're doing that makes any sense.
Check out these shows available now on Fearflix.
And welcome to another collection of frightfully good films from Fearflix, Gothic Horrors, with me, your host, Malvolia, the Queen of Screams.
Hey, I'm Pamela Such. You know me from all the Wave movies. And here we are, we're going to play Curse of the Swamp Creature 2.
Hello guys, I'm Rachel Waits.
And I'm Elise Costin.
Welcome to Silent Screams.
I'm Pamela Such.
I'm Monica Hayes. Thank you for tuning in to 70s Grindout on Fearflix.
Hey y'all, I'm Sherry Davis, your host for this wild and untamed collection of horror films from Fearflix. We wrangled up a selection of Texas horrors for this one. Welcome to Lone Star Horrors.
These shows, movies, and much more available now on Fearflix. Download it on your Roku channel store today.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
All right, we are back. Thank you to Sean Haitz for telling us about Area 5150. It's exciting. I definitely contributed to it. Can't wait to see that one. So trivia. Promise you guys trivia. So, I'm gonna go with a Puppet Master trivia. So, in the Puppet Master series, how did the female doll murder her victims? So, if you know the answer, message it to me or Crypto, and we'll send you some stickers and put your name on a list to be in a drawing for a bigger and better prize. It might be, I don't know, movies, merch, something. We'll come up with something cool, and you guys will like it. So the question again real quick, the trivia. In the Puppet Master series, how did the female doll murder her victims? Let us know. Get in touch. You know where to find us on social media. And Make sure you visit the Patreon page. We also have the Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. And we are going to get back to work on our events and the Halloween episode. It's going to be really exciting. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Steve and Crypto Show.